What's up and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to discuss the latest talking point regarding the Borderlands franchise and Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford, because holy shit, Gearbox confirmed Wonderlands is a cash grab. Now I don't want to waste any time, I'm going to jump right into this, but if you are not already aware, the CEO of Gearbox Software is Randy Pitchford. He has been in control of the company forever now, and he's no stranger to headlines and controversies. Having choked the original voice actor for Claptrap, being caught with barely legal squirt corn, and he's often caught sexualizing minors. Whether it be from his games, with Gage and Tiny Tina being the brunt of the raunchy dialogue, with both characters also originally being underage. The company had to retcon this bit of history, with controversy sparked about the characters all the way back in 2013, officially changing their age to 18. And let's not forget about the bonuses that he promised during Borderlands 3 that were far less than expected. But don't worry, we will get to that a little bit later on. So, now that you know a little bit about the past of Mr. Pitchford, let's go ahead and just get straight into it. So this thread over on Twitter initially started about 2 days ago with some other idiot on Twitter glazing the Borderlands 3 DLC like it's God's gift to Earth. And I'm not going to be saying this dude's name because he doesn't deserve any attention. All you really need to know about this guy is he's quoted for saying that just because he's 18 years of age, he can't be a pedo. I'm just going to let you make your own judgment on that, but let's go ahead and see what Randy Pitchford had to say. At Deval Magic, can we think of another game that had a better run of premium DLC post-launch? First of all, talking like Borderlands 3 had the greatest post-launch content of all time has gotta be the most brain-dead shit that I've read in a while, especially coming from the guy who was a part of Borderlands 2. But on to the next reply of the thread. This goon is your lead developer of the Air Duct mods, and the same idiot that acted like he was remastering Borderlands 2 on several bait posts just about a month ago. This fine gentleman is also known for harassing others in the community, so he can keep a nice little clown emoji stamped on his head for all I care. I personally have no plans on ever stating this person's name. And in his little tweet here, replying to Randy Pitchford, you can see many games that he included that he said did have a better post-launch content cycle than Borderlands 3, but there is one that remains at the top. Borderlands 2. Obviously the best DLC run out of any Gearbox title. Randy then replies by saying that the only one he agrees with coming close is Fallout 4. But hang on, it's our next bit that's the main discussion point today. Cause yes, I think he's stupid for saying BO3 has better DLC than all of the games listed. But it's the next response that sparked the internet flame. Someone was simply pointing out how they can't believe a Wonderlands PLC is almost the same price as a full-length story DLC from the third game. Randy had this to say: the Wonderlands DLC was fairly priced, in my opinion, but could not hold a candle to the value of the BO3 DLC. We way overspent on the BO3 DLC, so that the BO3 Season Pass might be the best value for post-launch content of this entire generation. So for starters, he's admitting to overpaying for the Borderlands 3 DLC that was produced. The problem with Randy saying this is it's in response to less content in Wonderlands, essentially blaming that money that they spent at the end of BO3's life cycle on the Wonderlands post-launch blunder. So basically, the game that got the company to the $1.3 billion evaluation ended up going over budget. Is it fair to say that's also why devs didn't get their giant bonuses like Randy promised? Maybe so, but it really does make a lot of sense when you think about it. They put so much into Borderlands 3 that by the time Wonderlands dropped, they didn't even have enough in the budget for the DLC. Even Randy admits later on in this same thread that they set the bar way too high. Which, that sounds familiar. So, instead of raising the bar higher, Gearbox shelled out garbage content less than the quality we expect, but for the same price, if not more. And I have to ask, what does that sound like to you? Because to me, it sounds like Buddy just admitted that shit was a cash grab. Even Randy Pitchford has now gone on record saying, quote unquote, it could not hold a candle to the value of the BO3 DLC. But in that same goddamn tweet, he says that the Wonderlands DLC was fairly priced. Make up your fucking mind. Or just admit that it's worse than its predecessor and say that in your opinion, it's worth the money in the very same statement. I'm sitting here gripping my face in disgust because this guy really just expects people to just sit there and eat up this bullshit that he spews out. Even the biggest company shill replied to this and said that even he didn't agree. And if you don't know what a shill is, it's someone who is paid to play and promote a game. But in the same sentence that he's saying he doesn't agree, he says that he loves the Wonderlands base game. Which, yeah, the first playthrough was fine, but no playthrough 2, the lucky dice and the loot luck system, the chaos chamber. My point is, there was plenty wrong with the Wonderlands base game. Now look, I'm not mad at K6. We have our issues, but that's not what today's video is about. Because I'm not here to stir up any drama. We're here to talk about Randy. I just thought I'd add that in as it is the top reply to that stupid ass comment by Randy. And I still don't see it as genuine criticism. But hey, maybe it's because he got his dialogue skipped. I mean, seriously, we all know he was excited when he saw that shit. As for Randy, what the hell were you smoking when you got on Twitter that day? Don't get me wrong, seeing you talk about Borderlands is interesting, but I'm going to give you a piece of advice. It's one that I think should go for just about anybody. It's better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. Because this thread was completely avoidable, but since Randy saw his beloved BL3 getting its dick sucked, he got horny and started slamming his greasy thumbs all over his phone like there was no tomorrow. He sent out a couple of dumbass tweets and then got cooked for it in the comments. I'm one of the ones that really advocated for them to try and talk to the community more. Interact with people who love this shit and keep it alive. Pick their brains and see what you can do to improve on what's lacking while adding to the already proven formula. Instead, the CEO is sitting here telling the fans his personal take on his own work, as if there's just zero bias at all and you should just accept his opinion as the truth. It just comes off as douchey to me to blame your golden goose on another project having subpar content. You're just making excuses at this point, and it's embarrassing. And yes, I know they've gone on record saying that Wonderlands sold well, and that's why we have a Wonderlands 2 currently in development. But with Randy now going on record saying that BL3 went over budget post-launch, why would I have any faith in that sequel? A sequel to a now confirmed to be cash grab by Gearbox. A game so quickly abandoned that it has less players than Borderlands 2, which will turn 12 years old in a few months. Less players than BL2, and it's just barely over 2 years old. Not great stats in my mind, but whatever. I know it got the eyes of D&D players on the game, and honestly, I don't care. Stop trying to appeal to so many different players and just make a good Borderlands game. Randy obviously has some kind of acknowledgement for the players bleeding out in Wonderlands and the popularity completely nosediving into the mud. Why else would he say that it can't hold a candle to Borderlands 3? Like I said, because he thinks it's worse. Well, there's an argument to be made there, and that's not what today's video is about. The CEO coming out and just flat out saying that it was never going to be better than 3 is him actually admitting to knowing that it wasn't going to be what fans expected. He basically confirmed it was a cash grab just without saying it. And if you're going to say that this is clickbait or whatever, that's also fine. You clearly can't read through the lines and maybe you need an evaluation. But it's clear to me and the rest of the community that this was yet another example of lead positioning members of the Gearbox staff firing off their insecurities at the fandom, like we just saw with the lead narrative director at Gearbox about a month ago. If you'd like to hear about that can of worms, and trust me, it's one nasty ass can of controversy, I will leave a link in the top of the description below. But with Borderlands being in the worst shape it's ever been in, it looks like Gearbox is finally starting to squirm, as the cracks are now beginning to show. Because holy hell, did you ever think that we'd see Randy Pitchford say anything remotely negative about Wonderlands? And while yeah, he was sure to put his little sprinkles on it by saying that the DLCs were priced fairly, he contradicts himself by stating it couldn't be better than the Borderlands 3 DLC. And that is the main reason for today's video. Instead of just saying that the DLC was mediocre content, it's sugar-coated. Whether it's content creators, employees, you name it. If they have a connection to the company that made the game, every bit of criticism that they give, there's always one thing: a but. Before they give their genuine opinion, they lather just a little bit of sugar on top of the moldy strawberries. Randy, quote, "The Wonderlands DLC was fairly priced in my opinion, but..." Insert actual criticism. And then you got this guy. I'll be honest, I disagree. I loved the Wonderlands base game. Story, gameplay, level design. but insert genuine criticism and opinion. You see what I'm saying? There's always a but. But why? Why are they so afraid to just speak their mind? If everybody was honest and we just put a stop to this toxic positivity bullshit, we'd get a lot further as a community. Like I said, I don't want any drama. I'm just tired of seeing these same things happen time and time again. I just want a good game. And I don't know if we're going to see another one in the Borderlands franchise when the CEO of the company just underhandedly said that the last game was worse than Borderlands 3. While I admire the honesty, I don't appreciate it with sugar on top. I made a video just 2 days ago called Borderlands is Dying. And you know, I really didn't want to have to make that video. Do I want to have to make a video called Borderlands is Dying? My favorite gaming franchise of all time? Do you think that's something I want to come on here and have to discuss and talk about? Hell no, it's not. But if that's what's going on, and if that's how I feel, if that's what the community is relaying to me, that these games are fading into the background, that they are finally starting to just lose that limelight, then yeah, I'm gonna come on here and tell you that Borderlands is dying. And you didn't see not one single thought that I had in that video, or any of my videos for that matter, that don't align with how I feel as a consumer and a fan of the Borderlands franchise. And I can say with confidence that it's not hard to just speak your fucking mind. So if anybody at Gearbox happens to have made it this far, man the fuck up and just speak your mind. Because I don't think it's dumb to assume that people biting their tongues is what got us in this mess. And if you want to take anything away from today's video, honesty goes a lot further than kindness. But they don't always mix together. But what do you guys think about Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox, confirming that Wonderlands was a cash grab? It's not a surprise, but personally, I'm disappointed, and I just wish that this once amazing franchise would be given to somebody who actually gives a damn about it, and not somebody who just cares about getting the most profit out of it. But that's my thoughts, guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video in its entirety, and if you did enjoy it, please smash a like on it and subscribe if you guys are new. Give me a follow on Twitter if you have not already. The link to that will also be in the description below. But most importantly, remember that I love you all to death. I want you to take it easy out there, stay safe, and with that, I will see you all in the next one.